Picture this: a mysterious wooden box, a missing father, stolen treasure, and a deadly poison dart. What if I told you that one of literature's greatest detective stories contains all of these elements and more? Today, we're diving deep into Arthur Conan Doyle's masterpiece, The Sign of the Four, the second Sherlock Holmes novel that changed detective fiction forever. Most people know Sherlock Holmes from movies or TV shows, but they're missing out on the raw brilliance of Doyle's original storytelling. This isn't just another detective story, it's a gripping tale that weaves together colonial intrigue, forbidden love, and moral complexity in ways that still resonate today. The Sign of the Four reveals layers of human nature that go far beyond simple crime solving. What makes this particular Holmes adventure so compelling is how it challenges everything we think we know about justice, loyalty, and revenge. Unlike modern detective stories that focus purely on solving puzzles, Doyle crafted a narrative that forces us to question whether the real criminals are always the ones being hunted. The story takes us from the foggy streets of Victorian London to the exotic dangers of colonial India, creating a backdrop that's both historically fascinating and emotionally charged. But here's what's truly remarkable about this book. It's not just about solving a mystery, it's about understanding the human cost of empire, the price of betrayal, and the thin line between justice and vengeance. Every character in this story carries secrets that reveal uncomfortable truths about society, morality, and the consequences of our choices. By the end of this summary, you will understand why this novel continues to captivate readers more than a century after its publication. Arthur Conan Doyle published The Sign of the Four in 1890, just 3 years after introducing Sherlock Holmes to the world in A Study in Scarlet. This second novel marked a crucial turning point in detective fiction, establishing many of the conventions that would define the genre for generations to come. What sets this work apart from its predecessor is its sophisticated blend of mystery, adventure, and social commentary that reflects the complex realities of Victorian Britain. The novel emerged during a period when Britain's colonial empire was at its height, and Doyle masterfully uses this historical context to create a story that's both thrilling and thought-provoking. The author's own experiences as a doctor and his fascination with crime and detection shine through in every page, creating a narrative that feels both authentic and compelling. Doyle's genius lies in his ability to create a mystery that operates on multiple levels simultaneously. On the surface, we have a classic treasure hunt filled with exotic dangers and unexpected twists. Beneath this, however, lies a deeper exploration of themes that were revolutionary for their time. The moral ambiguity of colonial rule, the psychological impact of betrayal, and the question of whether circumstances can justify criminal behaviour. The novel also represents a significant evolution in Holmes's character development. While the first book established his methods and personality, The Sign of the Four reveals his capacity for empathy and his understanding of human nature's complexity. We see Holmes grappling with cases where the line between victim and perpetrator becomes blurred, forcing both him and the reader to confront uncomfortable moral questions. What makes this book particularly relevant today is its unflinching examination of how historical injustices continue to shape present circumstances. The story doesn't shy away from depicting the brutal realities of colonial exploitation, while simultaneously exploring how these systems create cycles of violence and revenge that span generations. This moral complexity elevates the novel far above simple entertainment, making it a work that rewards careful reading and reflection. The adventure begins when Miss Mary Morstan arrives at 221 B Baker Street with a puzzling case that immediately captures Holmes's attention. Her father, a British Army officer, disappeared mysteriously 10 years earlier after returning from service in India. Even more intriguingly, Mary has been receiving anonymous gifts of valuable pearls every year since his disappearance, along with a cryptic invitation to meet an unknown correspondent. Holmes and Watson accompany Mary to this mysterious meeting, where they encounter Thaddeus Sholto, a nervous and eccentric man who reveals shocking information about her father's fate. Sholto explains that his recently deceased father, Major Sholto, was involved in a conspiracy with Captain Morstan that ultimately led to both men's destruction. The conspiracy centred around a fabulous treasure stolen from an Indian fortress during the colonial period. When the trio arrives at the Sholto estate to claim Mary's inheritance, they discover that Thaddeus's brother Bartholomew has been murdered in a locked room and the treasure has vanished. The crime scene presents Holmes with one of his most challenging puzzles: a room secured from the inside, a victim killed by a poisoned dart, and mysterious footprints that suggest an impossible perpetrator. The investigation leads Holmes and Watson on a thrilling chase through London's criminal underworld and along the Thames River. They encounter a cast of memorable characters, including the loyal Mrs. Hudson, the street-smart Baker Street irregulars, and the enigmatic boat owner Mordecai Smith. Each clue brings them closer to understanding the connection between the missing treasure and the violent events unfolding around them. As the mystery deepens, Holmes uncovers a tale of betrayal that spans continents and decades. The story reveals how four men once swore a blood oath to share a stolen treasure, symbolised by the sign of the four that gives the novel its title. When this pact was broken, it set in motion a chain of events that would eventually claim multiple lives and destroy entire families. The climax occurs during a dramatic river chase, where Holmes and Watson pursue the treasure thief and his mysterious accomplice. The resolution brings justice of a sort, but also raises profound questions about whether anyone in this tale can truly be considered innocent. The treasure that drove men to murder and betrayal ultimately proves to be both a blessing and a curse for those who seek it. The first major event occurs when Mary Mawson's mysterious correspondent finally reveals himself as Thaddeus Sholto, setting the entire plot in motion. This meeting at a London hotel transforms what initially appears to be a simple missing person case into something far more complex and dangerous. Sholto's revelation about his father's connection to Captain Mawson's disappearance establishes the historical foundation for everything that follows. The nervous young man's confession about the stolen treasure and his father's guilt creates an atmosphere of mounting tension while introducing the central mystery that will drive the entire narrative. The discovery of Bartholomew Sholto's murder represents the story's second pivotal moment, transforming the case from a historical mystery into an urgent criminal investigation. The locked room presents Holmes with a seemingly impossible puzzle that showcases his deductive abilities at their finest. The crime scene reveals crucial evidence: the poisoned dart, the mysterious footprints, and the missing treasure that connects past and present. This murder forces Holmes to confront the reality that the historical injustices surrounding the treasure are still claiming victims in the present day. Holmes's investigation into the murder leads to the third major event: his deduction that the killer must be someone capable of entering and leaving the locked room through seemingly impossible means. His analysis of the footprints and other physical evidence reveals that the perpetrator possesses unusual physical characteristics that narrow down the pool of suspects considerably. This breakthrough demonstrates Holmes's ability to solve complex puzzles through careful observation and logical reasoning, while also introducing the exotic elements that make this case unique among his adventures. The fourth significant event occurs when Holmes and Watson track down the connection between the murder and London's criminal underworld. Their investigation leads them through the city's darker neighbourhoods and introduces them to characters who exist on the margins of Victorian society. This portion of the story reveals Holmes's extensive knowledge of criminal networks and his ability to navigate dangerous situations. The search for the missing boat and its owner creates mounting tension while advancing the plot toward its climactic confrontation. The revelation of Jonathan Small's identity and his connection to the treasure marks the fifth major turning point in the narrative. Small's backstory, revealed through his own confession, transforms him from a simple criminal into a complex character, whose motivations stem from historical injustices and personal betrayals. His account of the original theft in India and the subsequent betrayal by his fellow conspirators provides crucial context for understanding the current violence. This revelation forces readers to grapple with questions about justice, revenge, and the long-term consequences of colonial exploitation. The sixth major event is the dramatic river chase that serves as the story's action-packed climax. Holmes and Watson's pursuit of Small and his accomplice along the Thames creates sustained tension while showcasing their courage and determination. The chase sequence demonstrates Holmes's ability to coordinate complex operations while maintaining his focus on solving the case. This thrilling sequence brings together all the story's various elements while building toward the final confrontation that will determine the fate of all involved parties. The seventh crucial event occurs when the truth about Small's mysterious accomplice is finally revealed during the climactic confrontation. This revelation provides the missing piece of the puzzle while highlighting the human cost of the events that have unfolded. The confrontation forces both Holmes and the reader to confront the moral ambiguity surrounding the case, as it becomes clear that the traditional concepts of guilt and innocence don't apply neatly to these circumstances. The final major event involves the resolution of Mary Mawson's inheritance claim and her romantic future with Watson. This conclusion provides emotional closure while raising questions about whether justice has truly been served. The fate of the treasure itself becomes a symbol for the broader themes of the novel, as its ultimate disposition reflects the moral complexity of the entire situation. This ending demonstrates Doyle's skill at providing satisfaction while leaving readers with profound questions about the nature of justice and the price of historical wrongs. The first crucial lesson from The Sign of the Four concerns the importance of systematic observation and logical deduction in solving complex problems. Holmes's method of carefully examining physical evidence, questioning witnesses thoroughly, and drawing logical conclusions from unavailable data provides a template for approaching any challenging situation. His ability to notice details that others miss and to see connections between seemingly unrelated facts demonstrates the power of disciplined thinking. This approach proves valuable not just for detective work, but for any situation requiring careful analysis and problem solving. The second key takeaway involves understanding how historical injustices continue to shape present circumstances in unexpected ways. The novel demonstrates how the colonial exploitation of India created conditions that eventually led to violence and suffering in Victorian London. This connection between past and present reveals how seemingly distant events can have profound consequences for future generations. The story teaches us to consider the long-term implications of our actions and to recognise how historical wrongs can create cycles of violence and revenge. A third important lesson centres on the complexity of moral judgment in situations involving historical trauma and injustice. Jonathan Small's crimes cannot be understood without considering the betrayal and exploitation he experienced at the hands of his fellow conspirators. The novel challenges readers to move beyond simple categories of good and evil to consider the circumstances that drive people to desperate actions. This nuanced approach to morality encourages empathy and understanding while still maintaining the importance of justice and accountability. The fourth takeaway involves recognising the human cost of greed and betrayal. The treasure that drives the plot represents more than just material wealth. It symbolises the destructive power of unchecked desire and the willingness to sacrifice human relationships for personal gain. Major Sholto's betrayal of his fellow conspirators creates a chain reaction of violence that ultimately destroys multiple families and claims several lives. This lesson emphasises the importance of honour, loyalty, and considering the broader consequences of our choices. A fifth crucial insight concerns the value of loyal friendship and partnership in overcoming challenges. The relationship between Holmes and Watson demonstrates how complementary skills and mutual trust can enhance individual capabilities. Watson's courage and loyalty prove just as valuable as Holmes's deductive abilities in solving the case. Their partnership illustrates how collaboration and mutual support can help individuals achieve more than they could accomplish alone. The sixth key lesson involves understanding the relationship between justice and revenge. Small's quest for what he considers rightful compensation transforms into a destructive cycle of violence that ultimately serves no one's interests. The novel explores how the desire for revenge can corrupt noble intentions and create more suffering than the original injustice. This insight encourages readers to consider alternative approaches to addressing wrongs and to recognise the limitations of vengeance as a solution to injustice. The eighth crucial insight involves recognising the power of secrets and hidden knowledge to shape events. The conspiracy surrounding the treasure demonstrates how concealed information can influence people's actions across generations. The novel shows how secrets can become sources of power, vulnerability, and ultimately destruction. This lesson emphasises the importance of transparency and honesty in human relationships, while acknowledging the complex motivations that sometimes drive people to conceal important information. A ninth key lesson concerns the relationship between individual actions and broader social forces. The characters' choices occur within the context of colonial rule, class divisions, and cultural conflicts that shape their options and motivations. The novel demonstrates how personal decisions intersect with larger historical and social forces to create complex situations that defy simple solutions. This insight encourages readers to consider the broader context surrounding individual actions and decisions. The final takeaway involves understanding the limitations of justice in addressing historical wrongs. While Holmes solves the immediate mystery and brings the perpetrators to account, the novel acknowledges that true justice for the original injustices may be impossible to achieve. The treasure's ultimate fate symbolises how some wrongs cannot be undone, regardless of our efforts to make amends. This sobering lesson encourages humility and recognition of the importance of preventing injustices rather than simply responding to them after they occur. The Sign of the Four stands as a testament to Arthur Conan Doyle's genius in creating detective fiction that transcends mere entertainment to become genuine literature. This novel succeeds brilliantly in combining thrilling adventure with profound social commentary, creating a work that rewards both casual readers seeking excitement and serious students of literature looking for deeper meaning. The story's enduring appeal lies in its ability to present complex moral questions through the framework of an engaging mystery that keeps readers turning pages while challenging their assumptions about justice, loyalty, and human nature. What makes this book particularly relevant for contemporary readers is its unflinching examination of how historical injustices continue to shape present circumstances. The novel's exploration of colonial exploitation and its consequences provides valuable insights into ongoing global conflicts and social tensions. Doyle's nuanced portrayal of characters caught between competing loyalties and moral obligations offers timeless lessons about the complexity of human motivation and the difficulty of achieving true justice in an imperfect world. The relationship between Holmes and Watson, fully realised in the second novel, provides a model for effective partnership and collaboration that remains inspiring today. Their complementary skills and mutual trust demonstrate how individuals can achieve more together than they could accomplish alone. This partnership, combined with the novel's exploration of friendship, loyalty, and moral courage, offers positive examples of human behaviour that balance the darker themes of betrayal and revenge. Perhaps most importantly, The Sign of the Four challenges readers to think critically about the nature of justice and the complexity of moral judgment. The novel refuses to provide easy answers or simple categories of good and evil, instead encouraging readers to grapple with difficult questions about circumstances, motivation, and accountability. This intellectual and emotional engagement makes the book a rewarding experience that continues to offer new insights with each reading, ensuring its place among the greatest works of detective fiction ever written.